Hello ladies and gentles, and welcome to another video. It's been a while since I've been on camera, and I've got Griffin with me because he won't stop barking. My views are so down, I thought, this is the money maker, but this is really the money maker. He won't stay still. There you go. Good boy. So the painting you are going to see is this one here. Luke Skywalker, Kenner figure. If you've seen the other videos I did with my toys, Raphael and He-Man, in lockdown I've gone back to the things I've loved, the things that I really loved as a kid. For some reason, being locked inside all the time makes me go back into that imaginary head where I don't have to worry about working all the time and travelling and exhibitions. It's been quite nice. I'm very over it now. So I started off by painting the two figures that were most important to me. The first one was He-Man, who was my very first figure, my very first one I remember. Then Raphael, who became, all the turtles are very important, but Raphael was my man. There was one figure that I always wanted, and that was this one. Luke Kenner. I never had this figure when I was a kid because Star Wars came out before I was born. I know I'm pretty old, but I'm not quite that old. And I always wanted this figure, but you could never get it because by the time I wanted it, I was like, 10 or so. And these figures were already becoming very collectible by then. They've been out for a while. I did get this one in the end. Many, many years later, sort of in my 30s, I managed to get hold of this one. So I wanted to paint this one because, to me, whereas He-Man and Raphael started it for me, this started it. This started the figures. This one, this is the Holy Grail. This is the Godfather. So you're going to see me painting this boy. But I love how the painting came out. It looks wicked, but there was some trials and tribulations, especially with his face. It's such a basic face, but it was quite hard to paint. Anyway, let me know if you prefer me doing an intro like this or going straight into the VO. It doesn't matter to me, whichever gets me more love. Anyway, Luke, enjoy. Bye. Hello, welcome to the voiceover Steve. He is very much like the film Steve, but he makes more mistakes and says every 20 seconds. Here we are painting Luke Kenner, as I just said. I'll try not to repeat myself, but I can't remember what I said in the intro, so I may do. This is on a doodle grid. If you don't know what a doodle grid is, it's the same as a normal grid, but you get to say the word doodle. It's just the same as a line grid, or a grid, or a graph grid, or a dot grid. It's just a bit easier for me because you have to be so precise, but in the same vein, the lack of preciseness means sometimes you have trouble because it's not precise. The painting I was doing before this one, I was painting in brown and I had some brown left over, so I thought to myself, I'm going to paint the legs first, which is a ridiculous thing to do. Don't ever paint the legs first of anything. So I did the brown and, stupidly, it was completely wrong, so I had to do it again. So this thing I was trying to do to save some paint and make a shortcut actually meant I had to do more. These legs are fantastic, aren't they? From these Star Wars figures, these sort of short, stubby feet. I don't know if they're, to proportion or not, but they were fun to paint and they look ridiculous. It wasn't until the turtle figures, they stood up on their own, but these guys did not stand up on their own well at all. A little gust of wind, Luke was finished. But they're great fun to paint, and something that I really wanted to get in was these short, stubby feet with these straight legs. For some reason, that type of thing stuck out in my mind. We're moving on to his tunic, or his shirt, or his dressing gown, his oversized shirt, his shirt dress. Let's call it shirt dress. We're going on to Luke's shirt dress. Just white, which is pretty simple. White in material is easy as long as you get the shadow just off. So here the shadow layer is just a grey. And then I'm building up the white. This is his utility belt, I guess you'd call it. It's actually brown. That looks black, but it's a very dark brown. I don't know why it looks black. Should colour correct it, really. Probably won't bother doing that. The rest of it's coloured correctly. That's white, so white is white. Painting in the creases and the bits on the material that pop in and out. Easy peasy when you're only doing two tones. In my style, I'd say probably painting white material maybe in other people's style is harder. I don't know what I'm talking about. Next, the arm. The amazing straight arms that were on these figures. They were solid. I don't think it was till G.I. Joe or Action Force. In my case, they put a little pivot in the arms. And the Jedis in this series, Luke, Obi, Darth, I think that was it, wasn't it, originally? Don't think Yoda was in the original line, I can't remember. Had those ridiculous lightsabers which sort of were hidden in their arm, like their elbow is where the lightsaber lived, they were crap and they bent and broke. They weren't very good. They improved them, but there's a certain charm to the crapness of it. I always thought there's something about all these early figures for me that, the charm. I said in the He-Man one, the fact that He-Man's axe was always bent, that was a charm. The fact that most of the lightsabers had disappeared, that was a charm. Where are we now? We're going on to the face. The face is what caused me the issues that I was saying about the problems. And as you can see there, you can kind of see the outline to where the nose and the mouth and the eyes are. And it's too high. And it took me a long time to figure out why it wasn't right. I can see easily now it was because it's too high. This skin tone this skin tone I couldn't get right neither, so I've lightened it here. That's still not right. I was referencing the figure, referencing photographs, trying to get the skin tone right. Skin tones are an absolute bugger to mix, especially when you're trying to imitate plastic, which has a shine to it. So this face, we are now doing the highlights, adding the eyes, and you can see it looks wrong. It looks wrong, but I kept persisting with trying to get this face right. And I remember one evening I was turning off my computer. I turned round to look at it in the studio and thought, oh, I've got to face facts. I got to man up and admit this face is wrong. It's got to go. So I painted it out completely and redrew the whole thing, which was painful, and I didn't film, sorry, but you can see the drawing there. It's not much drawing. And it's moved it all down. It's shrunk it a bit, moved it all down, and now I'm changing the skin colour again. And as you can see, that's still way too pinky. And I think I changed it again, but we'll get to that bit. The hair, yellow, always the worst colour in the world to paint. I wish they didn't put so much yellow in action figures. I want to do a lino one, but the yellows put me off. Putting in the basic eyes, which I love. I love the basic eyes on these early figures. And then we're outlining it all, or rendering it all with a Posca pen. Could have done this in a paintbrush, but the canvas was a bit rough, actually. And I'm just doing the outline, then kind of a bit of shadow within the figure and where the joints are, so where the legs move, where the arms move, all those bits. I've added a bit of black shadow to show where, there you go, you can see in the arm there, so you can see where it would move. It's not necessarily should be there, but to me it adds to that. Highlighting the hair again, kind of looks like He-Man's hair. I never noticed that. I'm talking about He-Man more than talking about Luke. I feel like everybody knows about these figures so much that I don't really talk about it. Anyway, highlighting the legs with a little bit of brown mixed with a bit of white, or the initial brown, and then doing his little lollipop lightsaber. And what are we doing now? Rendering something? I can't see. All I can see is my head flashing. Right, yeah, we'll highlight this hair again. This is what, the third time we've highlighted this hair, and it won't be the last. And then I'm doing the black. Now we're going to do a little bit of a weird jump. In a second. Here we go. Any second now. There we go. You can see this skin tone's all changed again. For some reason, this footage I couldn't find it. What I did is I found the skin tone that I wanted in spray paint. So I sprayed the paint. I sprayed the spray paint into a palette and then went over all this. So I didn't actually change anything, just changed the tone. And then once again highlight the hair. So what's that, number 4 or 5 on the hair? And there he is. He's roughly done here. Just touching up, putting some highlights on. That spray paint worked perfectly. It got the figure to the tone I wanted. It just kept being too pink. It looks good, doesn't it? I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with just I don't know what the word is. There's a nostalgia in there, but there's also, you can see this as an action figure. No one's going to think that's Luke Skywalker. I mean, you didn't think when you looked at the figure. I remember I had some Star Wars figures I couldn't figure out when I was young. I couldn't actually figure out what character they were. Anyway, so there's the painting. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really did. Please check out the He-Man one and the Turtle figure one if you want to see more. And any suggestions for more figures down below, let me know, because I want to do more. So your suggestions will be wicked. Lion-O, Skeletor is already on the list. I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.